I have just got done reviewing season 1 of Trolls The Beat Goes On, and I can say that all of them are awesome, except I'd be lying straight to your face. We are going to be doing the season 1 and 2 um season overviews, and I will save 3 to 6 tomorrow for tomorrow. So, here we go. So, where are we at? A new beginning. It gets a bronze. While I do like the way that it starts everything out and kind of allows the timeline to get situated, I definitely do not like the whole ending. It just feels kind of a bit rushed, and it just has that moment where Poppy is basically blaming everything on Branch at the end. I don't really like that. Other than that, it's a pretty typical meh episode that definitely gets you started with the series. Bronze. Laugh out loud. It definitely has more humor and more funny jokes than the other one. It has a really nice twist, and as well as a different Cloud guy that I could actually see being funny. However, sometimes this series likes to give a bunch of callbacks, and Laugh Out Cloud was no exception. It did a lot of callbacks, and when the show doesn't try to be original or different in any way from its predecessor movie, then that's kind of what kills it. But I do love the whole Poppy and Branch cute moments thing that they have. And I do love the way everything goes. It's very goodly. It's very well paced and it's very interesting to watch. Silver. Two-party system. Gold. I do love the whole Poppy just trying her dangdest just to try and fix everything. Like, set up a party. The jokes are much funnier in this one, and the the whole party planner thing is pretty cool. How she makes a call back to me. I do love the whole message that Bridget and Branch give at the end, and I do love the funny twist. Sometimes there are mistakes here and there that are like, okay, really, why didn't you tell her this? You would have stopped all of it. And then it's like, yeah, we could easily just let the twist sink in. It's a very good episode that I definitely recommend to watch. Gold. Fun Branch. It's definitely getting a silver. While it's definitely an interesting choice, and it's much better than our first episodes, it definitely didn't really exceed the expectations that I had. It was kind of a stereotypical episode that I kind of thought. It's like formulaic when it comes to the whole, okay, Branch is trying to be fun so he can get everyone to hang out with him. Then he tries to be too fun so people would stop hanging out with him. Then he tries to be in the middle. It's like, okay, we understand. Um, the joke about Fun Branch doing stuff is pretty funny, and I do love Poppy and Branch's like relationship in this episode too. Like they really work off each other perfectly, as they do in many episodes. So Fun Branch, silver. Royal Review. It definitely gets a silver in my opinion. While I definitely said that it gets gold in some episodes, I definitely give it a silver this time, specifically because of the way that the plot feels a bit forced. Like it feels like she could do something else different and yet she can't handle the anticipation. It just kind of comes out of nowhere, you know? I also don't like the whole twist of Peppy being the one giving the frowny face. Well, that's okay if you're trying to give her a message. Saying immediately afterwards that it's because he's an old man and he does what he wants comes off the wrong way. And once again, Poppy knows that whatever kind of thing she's doing is room for improvement. That's not necessarily a bad thing. And yeah. So Royal Review, while I said it was a gold in the original, I now said it's silver. Punishment, gold. Punishment just has this way of subtlety and a lot of comedy. So I love subtle moments, and subtlety is in punishment. The moment where Branch puts his arm on Poppy's is pretty interesting to watch, and it's really nice to see that subtlety coming in season 1 of all seasons. And while it definitely has its moments where it's like, okay, the message is getting a bit misconstrued, of the whole, okay, if you're being punished, then it's like, go ahead and start doing crimes. It's like, no, you shouldn't do that because crimes are basically bad things done and punishments are bad and everything like that. I do love the whole Poppy saying the listen up maggots thing. That was absolutely hilarious. And I absolutely love the fact that Poppy just like has this like acceptable way of dealing with punishment. not having them have fun, but also like cleaning up after themselves kind of thing. Punishment is definitely a gold. Bad news Bergens. Oh boy, we have demoted ourselves, didn't we? We went back to bronze. Why? Because this is a sports episode. As you may know, I do not like sports in any way except for cheerleading and band. The reason why that is because it's very cliche, and this message is no exception, especially within this episode. The message in this episode is that you should always have fun with the game and never compete and everything like that. It's not all about winning and losing. It's all about having fun and playing the game. And that message has been beaten into the ground so many times. Plus, the whole premise of Poppy and the rest just trying to get a high five from the Bergens is just a bit idiotic. Well, not really quite idiotic. It just seems a little bit like forced. Like I don't understand where this came from. Like high fives. Like we're still dealing with this. Anyway, Bad News Bergens gets gold. Gold. Bad News Bergens gets bronze. Bronze. It definitely gets bronze. Unhealthy competition. While I do like some of the jokes of this episode, I definitely hated Smidge and Guy Diamond's arguing throughout the entire thing. It was just really like maddening, and the whole and trolls not having common sense thing when they were sliding down the water slide like all at once and not like one time, like one at a time. It's just moronic and makes me think the trolls can be morons at times, even though they're not. And while I definitely am okay with the competition, it just goes on and on and on as filler, and it just kind of degrades the episode a lot. Anyway, this episode gets bronze. Cloudy with a Chance of Hugs. This one gets a gold. I always knew that something like this would become like a Valentine's Day special, and it's no exception. It's a Broppy episode, and everyone knows it. And everyone's going to watch it because I said that. It's a Broppy episode, clearly. Because of the fact that Branch and Poppy are clearly the main ideas here. Like, not the main ideas. The main characters in this situation, and Cloud Guy's there. Like, one of the reasons I don't like Cloud Guy is just because he doesn't really take things seriously. And sometimes he just comes off as annoying. If you want Cloud Guy done correctly, go to Fire and Ice. He's done much better than these. And I'm sorry, but seriously. Anyway, I just don't know. While I'm okay, I definitely love this episode for the some of the cringe humor. Cringe humor is really funny in this version. It makes me cringe a lot, and that's kind of the point of it. And I also love the emotion at the end. The only thing I don't like about Cloudy with a Chance of Hugs is the amount of questions it raises because of the ending. Like, how is Poppy gonna receive that hug day hug or not? Because Poppy was wanting to hug Branch, and everyone else probably got their hugs immediately. So yeah, that's a question that I still have. This Cloudy with a Chance of Hugs, gold. Creek Week. Poppy, you had the chance to fix this whole situation and you put everything in Creek's hands, and you like for Branch to be like, I really don't like this episode a lot. It just implies some very bad implications. The don't let go of anger and forgive is not that easy, and everyone knows it. And fair enough, I'm still going through it occasionally. One of the things that I devastatingly hate about Creek Week is how devastatingly mean-spirited it is. From Poppy especially. Creek Week just has this mean-spirited feel like we need to treat Creek like a god or something, even though Creek is a nuisance. And the whole series is going to continue to portray Creek as a nuisance. One of the things that I saw was that in these episodes, like when I was watching the videos talking about the the song at the end, the Forgive song, I saw a lot of people say they either don't trust Creek, or they don't like Creek still, or they ship Broppy. And I'm okay with all three of these options because they're reasonable. Creek Week, 0. Like, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0. The Giver. It is definitely a gold. I definitely love the comedy in this episode, and I love the unique premise behind it. I do love some of the gags though, especially within the scrapbook recaps. The twist is an easy one to figure out, but it doesn't really quite hammer it in your face that it's easy. It's really nice and it's really interesting to see. It's I do love the whole idea of the giver, and I do love the whole Poppy being a detective about it. And I do love the whole like emotional ending too. The only thing I don't like about the giver is the zoom cam. It's something out of Family Guy, and I don't want Trolls the Beat Goes On to ever use it again. Giver gets a gold. Bello Bug Day. It's also a gold. I love the songs in this. I love the Broppy relationship, and I love everything else in it. I'm not sure of the CG tornado, but other than that, I'm okay with it. Especially since the colors are nice and smooth, and the animation is very well keyed. I do love Poppy and Branch's relationship through this, and I do love some of the Murphy's Law things that kick in. And I do love the whole scenario with everything. The only thing I don't like about Bella Bug Day is that it immediately follows Prank Day as Season two's premiere. Great. Oh boy, we're gonna have a fun day with that. Anyway, uh, Bello Bug Day gets a gold. Prank Day. Oh lord. We finished season 1, we're now into season 2. Season 2 overview. Let's get this started. Prank Day. Oh lord. The most mean-spirited episode I have ever seen, and by far my least favorite. I mean, Poppy and Branch could have easily had another way of fixing this whole scenario, and they just competed over nothing. Sometimes it's mean, like gum in the hair and stuff like that just irritates me to the core. Well, whether it's a prank or not, sometimes the pranks can be taken seriously, and that could cause a bit of sadness or anger, and that's not funny at all. A lot of the pranks that happen aren't funny. The visual gag with the fire in their eyes, though, is pretty funny, and that was probably the best visual gag I've ever seen. And this episode does a lot of creative things. But when it gets to the ending, where there's no one working for Branch, everything happened like Poppy planned it, even though it's impossible that they did it like that. And the fact that, it's all over a stupid label and a star. It's just, this is not the Poppy and Branch I know. Zero. Easily. Adventures in Dingle Sitting. Well, this one is definitely a funny episode. It's definitely one of my other least favorites of season 2. Specifically because, the plot is a bit forced. And because, it just has a lot of Broppy arguing. And I'm not a big fan of Broppy arguments. It's just something that I'm not really a fan of. I'm okay with the Broppy arguing, specifically for the two to have their couple moments. I just don't like seeing them argue. I'm not a fan of seeing anyone argue, and that's just something I need to accept. But Adventures in Dingle Sitting provides a lot of funny jokes and a lot of interesting ideas that make it a okay watch, but not enough to sustain a silver or gold. Adventures in Dingle Sitting gets a bronze. I'll be watching you. Oh my god, you did the safety episode correctly. A safety episode that's done perfectly. I definitely see a lot of mistakes in this episode, like Poppy being able to use her leg and everything when she's being carried out by the doctor, even though the doctor said that she sprained her foot. So that doesn't make any sense. But a lot of the jokes are extremely hilarious, and some of the interesting ideas, like sometimes your feelings get hurt, but they're right about this. It's just really funny. And it's really really emotional. And I do love how the safety episode is really touched upon in an interesting way that makes it a really good watch. I'll Be Watching You is definitely a gold. Sorry, not sorry. This one is a pretty good episode. I just don't think it quite gets that gold because of the fact that we're stuck with the Bergens. And a lot of the times when the Bergens are involved, it ruins a plot for me. Specifically because, it kind of cuts the Broppy moments in half. I do love that question that Bridget asked in like the later part of the episode where she's like, Poppy, Branch, are you on a date too? That was just the funniest question I have ever heard. And if they said yes, I would have screamed. But they didn't because of the plot. But imagine if they did, just for an instant. That would have been amazing. But I do love how the message is handled, and I do think that it was handled in a mature way. And sometimes the misinterpretations are there. Sorry, not sorry gets a silver. Big Poppy gets a gold. I'm sorry, I just love the idea of Poppy as a rapper. It's just amazing. And I love how it's a compliment rap battle. Like, everyone needs to basically boycott rapping and make it this, where we're not trying to insult each other, we're trying to compliment each other, and we're trying to say nice things about each other. Wouldn't rap be so much more peaceful and calmer, and everybody would listen to rap if it was like that? It's just something cool. I do love the whole premise of Poppy just being a rapper, and I do love the whole like master control thing, and I love how everything is just like the jokes are there. And I do love the whole Poppy's gotta face her demons shtick. It's just a nice thing to do. And the fact that Poppy succeeds in the end makes it all the more powerful. Big Poppy is a gold. Neighbor War. Yikes. What happened? I think we went down to about a silver. While the jokes and the humor are pretty well done and the emotions is very well received, sometimes it adds more Brobby bickering and it adds a lot more of the town bickering, and that's something I really don't like. And I do like that Branch learns the moral at the end and apologizes. Even Sky Toronto apologizes. But I just don't like the whole neighbor war thing. It just doesn't really sit well with me in any way, shape, or form. It's not really that funny, and I definitely don't really recommend it too much. Neighbor War gets a silver. Remote out of control. I definitely like this episode. I do love the whole we're just like in the mind of the snack pack with Biggie, Cooper, and Smidge. And I do love the whole idea, like just taking Branch's control. I also do love how Poppy is like right beside Branch the whole journey. And the antics that these two get into are just amazing. It's just super funny and it's just really enjoyable to watch. Remote out of control gets a gold. Critter comfort. I like this episode. It has the most cliche moral out there, obviously, and it has really interesting value moral choices as well. Um, while I definitely can be complaining and groaning at the whole fact that there's like a major like intelligence problem with the main cast. It's like you'd be like, oh, they're clearly making a stupid decision here, the audience says. And yet we're like, okay, guys, we don't really need to take it that seriously because this is Poppy we're talking about. Poppy and Q creatures are going to obviously intermingle. And it's going to take a while for her to understand that they need to be in their habitat where they belong, despite their look. So, the message is pretty well done, and I do love the whole relationship between Poppy, Branch, and the rest of the snack pack within this journey. Critter Comfort gets a gold. The Poppy Horror Picture Show. Okay, now you're reminding me of the Gregory Horror Show, and I love it. The Poppy Horror Picture Show obviously gets like a silver. I don't think it quite reaches that gold that it needs. I do love the whole Poppy and Branch holding each other during Bridget's scary story, though. It's pretty nice. And it's obviously the most cliche thing out there where it's like, oh, one person gets really, 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 really scared, and someone has to go in and help him with his illness. So it's like, oh, we're going to go, well, not really an illness, more like a fear. And someone has to try and reenact that fear in order for it to work. And then it's like, oh, you did it, and everything like that. But then a real one of those fears shows up, and that's when they conquer their real fears. Great. I can definitely see where that goes wrong. All right. The Poppy Horror Picture Show obviously gets a silver. This next episode with Mr. Dingle's going for a pet show. This one is definitely an interesting one. It's definitely a bronze in my opinion, just because of the whole like being assertive nature. I'm not really a fan of it. And I do love the whole dancing thing with Poppy, Branch, and Biggie, but I'm just not really a fan of the whole pets like ignoring you thing or being like really assertive on you. Um like you being the best thing. I'm not really a fan of that. And I just don't really like pet shows in general, specifically because of the fact that it's like, we love our pets for the way they are. Why would they want to go into any pedigrees or stuff like that? Are we trying to? Is it like scholarships or something? Is it something I'm not seeing? I don't understand. Anyway, this episode with Mr. Dingle's going for a pet show. Whatever its title is, someone remind me in the comments. It is a bronze. The party games. I do like this episode. I love how we meet Archer Pastry, and this is the first time we ever get any indications of Archer and his like untrustworthiness and how he just comes out right out of nowhere and how he's too nice and everything. That's gonna come back in a season 3 plot that we're gonna do next time. I do love the whole party games thing, like where they learn their like where Guy Diamond learns their morals at the end and everything like that. I do love how Branch is like the like co-host or whatever of the party games with Poppy, and it's just really cute to see. I love how Poppy and Branch just work with each other in this episode. It's pretty nice. But I do love how a lot of this is based on Guy Diamond as well. Like he's so determined to be the party guy, like the one to get close to the whole thing. Um, that he realizes like, oh, it's like all competition and everything, and then he realizes it's not competition. It's all about making them laugh and being, a party guy. And I do like that he learns that in the end. It's really nice, and I do love how Branch telling a joke to Poppy and she laughs. It's just pretty cute. The party games obviously gets a gold. Trolley Tales. Oh no. What happened now? Trolley Tales just has this sort of mean-spiritedness. You'll notice that with season 2, the main problem with season 2 as a whole is that Poppy and Branch just bicker constantly over stuff that they shouldn't be bickering about as adults. This is Poppy and Branch telling classic tales to kids to compete against each other to who is the best storyteller. Yikes. We have really degraded. While the stories are interestingly creative, and the whole Rapunzel story ending with, like, we can talk about our feelings was a missed opportunity that could have added character development. But I don't like some of the stories. Like, Branch is a bit too safe with its message in his story. Poppy's a bit more of I'm right and I'm always right because I'm the queen thing is just a bit mean. And then when it gets to Keith's story, it's like, oh, we can throw in a bunch of Deus Ex Machina stories and stuff like that, and we can make a story that make completely no sense whatsoever, and that will get the kids' attention. Yeah, because kids are absolutely too stupid to follow a plot, apparently. Trolley Tales just gives me a lot of really bad implications for something that seemed creative. I just don't know. Well, Trolley Tales had the right intentions. I don't think it did. Well, in execution, I mean. Trolley Tales gets a bronze. Model behavior. I do like this episode. But one thing is for certain. If it were me, I absolutely am not a fan of Satin and Chenille episodes. While they're good characters, obviously, I'm not a fan. I also do love how they do like they put Branch as modeling. It's just super funny. And how Poppy made that list. It's just funny. Anyway, Sad and Chenille are really good characters, and I do like them in this episode. And while they have their moments of arguing, they do have their moment of synchronization. I do not like the whole smear though, like SMARR, like smear, like smile with your hair. I don't understand how that works, and it just seems a bit too stupid. So, model behavior is definitely an interesting episode, and an entertaining one. I just don't think it quite reached that gold. So, model behavior gets a silver. Pillow War. Wow, you did the competition thing right this time, guys. You finally did it. A pillow. That's rare. You did it. You got it right. And you did it creatively. I love how Poppy and Branch just have this moment of like putting their arm around each other throughout like 2 times of the episode. It's just nice and really fun to watch. I do love the whole pillow war as it goes to like a World War II-esque style, and it's fun. Really, really fun. And I love how Gristle gets involved at the end too. It's pretty funny. But I do love how Poppy and Branch learn their morals at the end. I do not like the hissing, though. That's a bit weird and demonic. And I do love how Poppy tries to sway herself out and everything at the end, but the pillow is the one that sways her back into being crazy and fighting for the pillow. That's pretty good. I do love how Peppy notices that this is wrong and it needs to stop. If Peppy were here for prank day, it would have made the episode better. Anyway, Pillow War is a really fun thing to watch, and it ends with a cliffhanger that'll go back in season 3. Pillow War gets a gold. Whew! Alright. Hopefully that all made sense. So let's go ahead and rehash it from the beginning. A new beginning, bronze. Laugh Out Cloud, silver. Two-party system, gold. Fun branch, silver. Royal Review, silver. Punishment, gold. Bad News Bergens, bronze. Unhealthy competition, bronze. Cloudy with a chance of hugs, gold. Creek Week, nothing. The Giver, gold. Bella Bug Day, gold. Prank Day, nothing. Adventures in Dingle Setting, bronze. I'll Be Watching You, gold. Sorry Not Sorry, silver. Big Poppy, gold. Neighbor War, silver. Remote Out of Control, gold. Critter Comfort, gold. The Poppy Horror Picture Show, silver. The Dinkle's Pet Show episode, bronze. The Party Games, gold. Trolley Tales, bronze. Model Behavior, silver. Pillow War, gold. There we go, that's our rehash. I hope you enjoyed the Season 1 and 2 overviews. As far as Season 1 and 2 go, they're on their way to becoming great seasons. But they're not quite there yet. They have not quite reached the Platinum episodes, unlike Season 3. Season 3 will have its Platinum episodes, I promise. It'll get to the Platinum with Fluffleberry Quest. But until then, I'm really excited to be doing these overviews. They're much easier for me as reviews. So, hopefully I'll get these individual episodes in, but for now, I hope the overviews make more sense when it comes to my reviews. I also decided to cut the point system entirely because it doesn't really make any sense, and I can't really keep track of numbers that way. So I'm just going to go ahead and get bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and nothing, everything like that. Hopefully that all makes sense, and I want to thank you all so much for watching these overviews. I really try my hardest when it comes to these overviews, and I'm really trying hard to give it my best when it comes to these reviews and how these work. So, thank you all, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye!